All right, my man, state your name and let them know you on Real Talk with Nick.
It's your boy L out here in St. Nick. What's going on, y'all?
And you on Real Talk with Nick.
On Real Talk with Nick.
Man, I like that. We said we on St. Nick and we on Real Talk with Nick.
St.
You know, one
Nick,
day,
Real
man,
Talk with Nick.
I hope to get my own street, man. Shit.
It's gonna be possible for you.
I just hope I ain't gotta die and shit.
I see the vision, man. I see it.
All right, thank you, man. Let's get busy, man. Are you a Knicks fan, man?
No, I'm not actually a Knicks fan, but I follow them. No.
That's what's up, man. What would it take for you to be a Knicks fan, man?
Knicks fan.
Like, let's start off. Why you don't like the Knicks, man?
The reason why I don't like the Knicks, they management is poorly run. They don't know how to evaluate talent. They're always letting somebody go. They always letting potential stars go in the draft, man.
Like who?
List goes on. Steph Curry, Giannis. Too much talent they let walk, man. And then even when they make too many bad decisions when it's contracts, they get people past their primes. You got McGrady. T-Mac was already done by the time we got T-Mac.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? We had Nate Robinson. Didn't show Nate Rob no love. He played with the most heart on the team. You're supposed to keep Nate Rob at all costs. Turned out back on Nate Robinson. He went to Chicago. Look what he did in Chicago. I don't know if people forgot. With Nate Robinson, that was amazing.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? D Rose went down. He went against the Brooklyn Nets by himself.
Okay.
Crazy.
All right. Now, speaking of D Rose, man, you know that D Rose is now on the Knicks.
And D Rose.
He got injured, and the Knicks didn't make the postseason like we did last year, before this season, man.
Right, and they had higher expectations. They're supposed to do better this year than last.
Right. So who fault is that, man? Who gets the blame, man?
The blame.
Is it players or is it the coach? When we speak of Tom Thibodeau.
I really think it's the players. I think their egos got too high. I felt like they felt like they didn't have to work as hard as they did last year. Last year they scrapped, they fought hard for everything. They know they was all on expiring contracts. They all fought for their contracts. Now when they got the money, they secured. They regressed. They went backwards.
And when you speak of going backwards, it's safe to say you targeting Julius Randle.
Julius Randle, main guy.
Let's talk about JR, man. You saying he got lazy.
Got lazy.
And you think the money...
The money, not only that, I felt like not only is it the money, but I felt like I don't think Randle really wants to be in New York. I really think Randle wants to be on a contending team. I don't even see him being the face in New York. I don't see him being the face.
You don't see that?
I don't think Knicks fans really embrace him. I think Knicks fans would rather keep RJ. There's more promise on RJ than there is on Randle.
Really?
He has, I think so.
Okay. Now, why do you think he had such a successful season when the Knicks went into the postseason, when he was the 4th seed?
Why, last year?
Yeah, why was Julius Randle successful as a Knick one season?
I really feel like that, a lot of that came from when Kobe passed away, since Kobe was a big mentor to him and everything when Randle coming in the league. And him having to prove something, you know, it's like when you have a mentor like Kobe, you gotta go out on that court and be able to do something, be able to, you know, make a name for yourself. Like even Jason Tatum, you look at everybody that Kobe took under their wing, they all became all-stars or won a run championship. You go to Devin Booker, went to the finals. You go to Kawhi Leonard, got a couple of rings. You go Jason Tatum, just lost in the finals. But, you know, everybody that Kobe took under his wing became somebody. So Randle, I felt like even D'Angelo Russell became an all-star. Jordan Clarkson, he 6th man of the year in Utah doing his thing. Been to the finals with LeBron. So these guys all did something. I felt like Julius was the last guy that had something to do out of that young group, that young Lakers core.
Right.
I felt like Julius was the last one.
Do you think Julius Randle can handle the media?
No. I don't think he can handle New York media. I think he can handle a more quiet media, like, let's say, a San Antonio or Indiana type of market. I feel like he, like, even, like, when you look at his Knicks numbers. I really think his best performance was on the Pelicans.
Okay.
I think Randle played the best on the Pelicans. And the reason why, because he was coming off that rookie contract and had to play for a max deal. So he was on a bad team, putting up crazy numbers, but you know, that guy Randle, I don't know what's going on with him. I don't know what's going on.
You don't know what's going on with him, man.
I don't know. Everybody on the Knicks took a step backwards except R.J. Barrett. R.J. is the only one that made forward progress. Even the guy that, oh my God, Kevin Knox. Don't get me started. The organization, man, they drafted this guy Kevin Knox, and they gave him away for a bag of potato chips.
Hey, who was the chips he gave?
I don't even know the player that we got back for Knox. There was the Cam Reddish. And this is what I don't know what they're trying. I think they're trying to reunite that Duke Big Three.
Right. Between Reddish and RJ
and Zion. But Zion's about to sign the max with Pelicans because they got a contender over there. They got Ingram. You got McCollum. You got Valanciunas. You got the young boy Jackson Hayes. You got a team over there where Zion doesn't have a team in New York.
Okay. Now I'm going to pity back a little bit more on Randle, and then we're going to move on.
Yeah.
Is it safe to say that Randle had a successful season when they went to the postseason because we was in the bubble? Where it wasn't no crowd, wasn't no fans getting on him, you know.
A successful season? Oh, in the NBA bubble, the Knicks actually...
Because there was no crowd, wasn't no audience.
I don't think the Knicks...
Okay, not the bubble, but what I'm trying to say...
After when they went against Atlanta in the first round.
Right.
Okay, that was actually a great accomplishment. They actually overachieved. A lot of people actually thought the Knicks was going to be a lottery team once again. They actually overachieved. I was proud of them. I was happy. But this year, I felt like they should have at least followed up and made an 8th seed. And that's not really their fault. The rest of the league is getting better as well, and it's the management's fault decision at the end of the day. Okay. They traded for this guy, Cam Reddish, and I haven't even seen him play 5 minutes.
He played, 12 games before being injured, which leads me to another question when we speak of the coaching. Under Tom Thibodeau. Is he the right coach for the youth, man?
For the youth, I think he is. I like Tom Thibodeau.
What you like about him?
I love his discipline. I love the fact that he doesn't discredit his players after they have bad games and stuff like that. When you watch him on the Bulls, he had this Luau Deng led the league in minutes. So he pushes his players to play hard. That's what he didn't. Joakim Noah. He made Joakim Noah an MVP candidate. His coaching, he's gonna put you in the right position. That's the thing I love about Tom Thibodeau. But the thing, and I really feel like it was good that Rose did come to the Knicks so he could have that. He had somebody as another
mentor.
Veteran. Yeah, exactly.
Right.
That knows Thibodeau system that could also help the players. So that's what really I really felt like that's what helped the Knicks get over the hump last year and overachieve. Thibodeau's coaching and D-Rose mentorship. Okay.
So if it's safe to say that if D-Rose didn't get injured, the Knicks would have had a more better...
I think they would have made the play-in tournament.
How many more games do you think the Knicks would have won
with Rose?
With Rose.
They still have Kemba, right?
I believe so.
All right. With Rose and Kemba, I would say they'll win... I would say another at least 10 or 15 so more games and qualify for the play-in tournament.
Really?
I think they would have, and I think they would have barely made it as the 8th seed.
Barely made it at the 8th seed? At
the 8th seed, if they would have had Rose and Kemba, a healthy Rose and Kemba.
Okay. And speaking of Kemba, man, do you think Kemba got the short end of the stick, man? I mean, he's from New York.
He's from New York.
He went to Rice High School, you know?
Yeah. Bronx native.
Bronx native, man. Right down the block from where I used to live at. Because I'm from the Bronx. Shout out to us Brooklynites, you know what I'm saying? James Monroe, Hauser, you know? And I'm asking you, my brother, you think he was overzealous? Like he was so anticipating to play for the Knicks that when he came to the Knicks...
Oh, I don't think that was the situation. What I really think Kemba's situation is, I think Kemba, he spent his best years in Charlotte. Kemba's past his prime. I feel like he could be a solid role player for a contending team and not a hero for a team that's trying to, a rebuilding organization. I feel like the Knicks is in rebuild mode. They need to let Randle go. Keep RJ and let everybody else go. Get a true star. Randle is.
Well, you said let everybody go.
Everybody go except RJ.
You can't be serious, man.
Let everybody go. They're not going to get Zion. They got Cam Reddish to attract Zion and Zion does.
He wants to come here, man. I read an article. When he said he's moving to New York, man. Now I know everybody's saying, yo, look at Zion Williams, man. He came out of his shoe playing. He's overweight. But I feel he's forcing the trade during that draft class.
But to leave Ingram, McCollum, and these guys and they gave Phoenix a good run for their money in the playoffs.
That sounds like a Pelican problem, man.
Without Zion.
Right.
And Zion is a big problem. That's 27 points on over 55% shooting from the field. That's insane numbers. And only for what is going to be on his third season.
Right.
So he's only going to get better. If he can stay healthy, Zion's only going to get better. And that's a scary thing for the rest of the league. So if he's only going to get better, it would be smart for him to stay in the Pelicans. I actually want to see him come to the Knicks and try to carry a team.
If you want the Knicks to win, man, we can't worry about what the Pelicans are trying to do, man. The rings ain't coming in Madison Square Garden.
But
man.
that's the whole.
Them banners ain't
point of getting Cam Reddish to try to attract them. It reminds me of when the Lakers, when Cleveland knew LeBron was going to leave to go to LA, so they tried to bring LA to LeBron to keep him in Cleveland. They traded for Clarkson and Nance Jr.
Right.
They tried to bring some of that LA young core to LeBron.
Right.
And it didn't work. He still went over there.
Okay.
So I feel like this is the same thing. Like the Knicks, they're going to fail trying to attract another free agent.
Right.
They're going to fail.
Okay. Now you said something about. Sorry for cutting you off. They're going to fail.
And that's what hurts me. They always fail. I felt like the last success they had was with Melo and Stoudemire. Even Stoudemire, him punching the fire hydrant, man. The Knicks, they got to get it right.
They got to get it right.
They got to get right.
Okay, man. When I mentioned Emmanuel quickly, the combo guard, man. What you like about his game?
He a dog. He's a good fighter. He fights.
Any player he remind you of on another team that's you think got star quality?
He reminds me of DeJounte Murray.
Yeah.
Not as skilled. He has those spurts. That's who Emmanuel quickly reminds me of. DeJounte Murray. If he works on his game, that's who he could be.
Yeah.
I really feel like he could be that caliber kind of player. But they gotta instill the confidence in him. Then 1 minute they give quickly to burn, and 1 minute he's sitting on the bench and you don't see him for a whole game. So,
do you like him as a starter, or do you think he's better as a sixth man, second unit?
I do like him as a starter.
As a starter.
As a starter. He has more promise at this point than Rose or Kemba. I feel like quickly is that guy for them. I like him as a starter, but he got to work his game on.
So what do he need to improve on? And this is a two-part question.
Yeah.
What do he need to improve on? And then the second question would be, should we play him at the 2 or at the 1?
I think he needs to improve on. I think he needs to improve on his shooting and his facilitating. He doesn't have the court vision. If he can't go straight to the rim, what he's doing, he's settling for these difficult jumpers. That's what he's doing. He's settling, and he doesn't have that consistent shot yet. His drives to the basket, he got the layup package. He's a great athlete. I like quickly. But he got to work on that. He got to get that jumping down pack. Once he get that jumping down pack, I really feel like he could be the next DeJounte Murray. And his court vision, he needs to be able to see the floor better.
Okay. Then I want to speak of RJ Barrett,
Well,
man.
I feel like,
I'm sorry. Go ahead.
yeah, I don't like. He got that like kind of like a Rondo-ish in him, like that.
Are you talking of Emmanuel quickly?
Yeah, he has that like that. The way he runs the floor.
You don't see any comparison with him and Lou Williams?
Lou Williams, I don't think so. Lou Williams is more dynamic scorer. Lou Williams could shoot. I'll say Lou Williams kind of reminds me of Jamal Crawford without the handle.
Okay.
Yeah.
Now I want to piggyback on RJ, man.
Yeah.
You heard about RJ Barrett
Okay.
coming to the Knicks. During the draft class, we all wanted the number 1 pick.
Right.
We didn't get Zion.
Right. And
You
you
know?
said for RJ.
Yeah, I was in Clyde Fraser diner and restaurant during the draft when everybody thought we was gonna get Zion, man.
Right.
Everybody was crying. Even Zion looked like he was watered up. Like, damn, I'm going to the Pelicans. He didn't want to go there.
Yeah, he didn't want to go.
Nah, we got the 3rd pick
And took RJ.
and we took RJ. And when we found out we didn't get Zion, we was hoping to get John Morant.
Right.
We didn't get John Morant. We got RJ. Are you happy with that pick? Now that we know what the 3 of them is doing in the NBA.
I'm happy that they took RJ. Just because Ja wasn't off the Ja was off the table. I felt like if Ja was on the table, I'd have been angry if Ja was still on the table and they still would have took RJ at 2. But this is the thing. I felt like at all costs the Knicks should have tried to move up. I felt like they should have threw a package with that number 3 pick that they took RJ with, threw Kevin Knox in there, and made some calls. And I think they still had Porzingis on the roster at the time, so they could have included Porzingis in there and did their best to try to get that number 1. Threw Knox, Porzingis in there, and just got them on. Tried their best to get Zion.
Okay. Now, do you think RJ Barrett will become a superstar, that is, when we speak of Knick basketball?
Under Tom Thibodeau, because under David Fizdale, it was a nightmare. With Tom Thibodeau, under the right coaching, and I think he needs a better mentor than yes, I can't say he needs a better mentor than Rose. Rose developed some great players. You look at Jimmy Butler. Jimmy Butler came in as a strictly defensive player. He had like 0 offensive game at all. He couldn't even hit a shot. So being with Rose and having that mentorship helped Jimmy open up.
Right.
So I felt like
RJ Barrett could do the same.
Yeah, under Rose, I felt like that was a great mentor for him, man. He's doing his thing.
You like?
I like RJ.
Now let's talk about his development, man.
Okay.
How long do you think it takes for an NBA player, we speak of Knick basketball, to develop? Because like you said, management, right?
Right.
Because one of the downfalls when we speak of the Knicks.
Right.
They let go too many good players, and then we get rid of players too soon.
Right.
If you was a coach, or if you was working in the front office for the Knickerbockers, Kevin Knox, for instance.
Okay.
You feel they let him go too soon?
Right.
Kevin Knox was under 3 different coaches. Jeff Hornacek, Dave Fizdale, and Mike.
I don't think they let Knox go too soon. I just don't think I don't think Knox had the proper veteran leadership, because that's very important for any player. It doesn't matter if you're Michael Jordan. Even Michael Jordan had George Gervin. You gotta have these mentors that can show you the way. You understand? Even LeBron, when he came inside the league, he still had these players that have been in the league for a little while. You need these guys.
Right.
And it's sad. Like, what's the veteran Elgauskas? Elgauskas was an all-star before LeBron even got there.
Yeah.
So you need some type of veteran.
So this goes back to my question I'm asking.
Yeah.
How many years does it take for a player to develop? If you was a coach, you want to give time, show tutorage, mentor him. 2 years?
2 years. By the second one, I'll say by the second one, that's when you will have a good idea on their ceiling, or on the player's ceiling. Like Kawhi Leonard, for example. He came in the league averaging 7 points a game, but shooting 50% from the field and 40 from three. So that you look at those numbers, that's not flashy numbers, but you look at those field goal percentage. Those are the two things that's going to tell you how good a player is. When you look in their first year and they're shooting, let's say 45% in their first year, that's excellent for a rookie. 45%.
Okay.
Now you got a rookie like Zion that's coming in the league shooting 55%. That's outrageous. That means these guys, for it's like they don't miss. So these guys, man, I really feel like it's all about mentors, having that veteran in the locker room.
Okay. And going back to RJ once again, during his rookie year,
he didn't have a veteran. He didn't have one. They had bad coaching in Fizdale. It was a whole bunch of young guys, Kevin Knox and all these guys. They got Randle. It was just terrible. It was terrible. It was a disaster.
But when we speak of the elevation of RJ Barrett's game, what do you see he got squared the way that he didn't have in his rookie year?
I would say more strength. More strength. RJ his game has always been built around attacking the basket and mid-range jumpers. So not only he's getting stronger at driving to the basket, he's getting better at defense, he's shooting the three better, his free throws, and not only that, he's stepping up in the clutch. So I feel like he's the only player that took a forward step back. Everybody else, Rose was hurt, Randle looked like he didn't want to be there. You know, and there's rumors still going around right now that Randle is interested in getting traded or walking away. So,
wow. Or damn, as I would say when I hear something I don't like.
And I wouldn't mind him going to a contender, joining some type of super team somewhere, take his talents to South Beach, man. Do something with, the Knicks, they have so much cap space. They could get these big free agents, man. You go out there and get you a Bradley Beal and a Zach LaVine. Put that with RJ Barrett, man. You got you a nice three-headed monster. You keep Mitchell Robinson.
Speaking of Mitch, he's an unrestricted free agent, man. Knicks is willing to pay him $55 million for 4 years. Some say Mitch is worth more than that. That you got Nerlens Noel, who got a better contract than that, and Mitch plays better than Noel.
He's more available than Noel. We cannot forget that Noel was one of the top players in the country. He was like a top 5 pick or whatever. I think he drafted at number 4 by the Pelicans. Number 4 was supposed to go number 1 that year if it wasn't for an injury. So the thing with Nerlens Noel, if they want to get more money than Mitchell Robinson, than Noel, they can do that. But I really think if I had a choice, I would keep Noel over Robinson.
Over Robinson?
Because not only you could keep Noel for cheaper, you don't have to pay as much as him because Noel has been injured.
Well, why keep an injury-prone player, man? Well, you got somebody in Mitch. Don't get me wrong. I mean, he had his moments where he was hurt too.
He had a great run last year, but this year, everybody took a step back and said Barrett. So what I would do is just to keep the cap space available, I'll give him one of those prove me something contracts. I'll give him one of those prove me your worth contracts. I'll give him let's say a 2-year, $8 million. I'll give him Nerlens Noel 2-year, $8 million as opposed to giving this guy a 4-year, $55.
Right.
And Nerlens Noel is actually a better player than Mitch.
Some might argue with that, but that's for the people in the comments. You're going to have to handle that one, man. You have to handle it. I mean,
better.
Okay.
Healthy, 100% healthy. You compare Noel to Robinson. Noel is, I want to say he's an elite center, but he's a very consistent player. Yeah, he could score. Noel's gonna get you some buckets, man. Mitch Robinson, he's gonna catch lobs. He's not as versatile with his game as Noel. At least Noel could drop the mid-range jumper, make some free throws. He's an excellent shot blocker, great rebounder. He could guard the wing. I don't see Mitch Robinson guarding the wing.
You don't see that.
And you need a big that could guard the perimeter because they got these bigs to shoot threes now. You know, especially when they go small ball and they take the big out the game, you got nowhere that could step out and guard the wing.
Okay.
Mitch Robinson is a liability on the wing, you know, so it depends on what you want to spend your money on as an organization. You want to spend your money on the available guy or the injury-prone guy that always had potential.
Good analogy, man. When I bring up Quentin Grimes, man.
Quentin Grimes, I really haven't seen too much of Quentin, but he's I like his 3-point shooting. I like Quentin. I like Quentin Grimes. He plays hard.
Yeah.
I like Quentin Grimes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. All right, and we're gonna close this out real quick because I know I'm doing this hood ESPN. You know what I'm saying?
It's all right, bro.
You know what I'm saying? You can light it up. Weed is legal now. You know what I'm saying? Like shit. This ain't no Stephen A. Smith shit. Now, when I speak of my boy, who you had in mind? I'll let you lead the way.
Oh, on the Knicks?
Yeah. Who you had in mind? Because you know where I was getting ready to go with my boy Obi Toppin.
Oh man, that's another guy.
Oh man, I feel like the interview's just started, man.
Obi Toppin.
Yeah, I see the dimples on my man's cheeks. Talk to me, Obi.
Oh man.
First of all, do you think he's ready to start? Let's start there.
No.
Why not?
I think Obi Toppin, I feel like he's overhyped. He's another New York native. I really felt like they should have took Tyrese Haliburton. They passed on Tyrese Haliburton, that kid that went to the Kings. Now we talking about how the Knicks need a point guard. They got Rose, Kemba's hurt. Quickly need to step his game up. They had a chance to draft this kid, Tyrese Haliburton. They passed on him.
You think that was a grave mistake?
A grave mistake.
Hey, you telling me you don't like what Obi's doing?
I like Obi, but I don't feel like he could ever be a star. Tyrese is a star.
Tell me what you like about Obi before we break his game down.
I like his mid-range game. I like damn, I can't really pick his game apart like
what about fast break?
He's not athletic. He's not.
What?
Obi got hops. Don't get me wrong, but I really feel like he's I feel like he's Sean Marion, but a lot less of a threat offensively. He got that Sean Marion type of game with him. He don't have the really funny looking shot, but he has that. He's built like Sean Marion, where he's a 6'9" power forward.
Right.
And Obi is not a great defensive player.
Okay.
He never was. He's not fast on his feet. And I felt like it was a mistake drafting him. They already had Julius Randle as a power forward, so that's making Julius Randle feel disposable when you draft a guy like that at his position. You draft a guy that's that high, and Obi's really not that good. I don't really think Obi's not that good.
Now, you've seen splashes of Obi performance once Julius Randle got hurt. He had back-to-back 35-point games.
Okay.
He had a 40-point game. You know, you still wasn't impressed by all that? Like, I know the Knicks was already out of it, so the opponents was lax. But
so, going forward, I really think for a player like Obi, you need a system that's going to be built around him. I feel like him and Randle would be a good small ball, you know, like a 4 and 5 for this new small ball era. That would be a good 1-2 punch for the small ball. If Obi can stay consistent and play to that potential that people have seen from him in college and stuff like that, and he's a New York, his father played for the Gauchos and everything like that. But he got to get it together, man. And I don't really feel like the organization really believes in Obi that much.
And why you say that?
They haven't. When his first year, they didn't give him that much burn. They didn't give him too many minutes, and then even this year, he still wasn't a consistent starter for them. When you draft the guy that high and you're not giving the guy that burn, it's gonna hurt him when they in the market, especially a guy like Obi, when he's a New York native, you want to get on that court and prove that who you are. You want to prove that who you are, your draft stock. You want to prove what your stock was worth, you know. And he's not getting that chance. He's better off than Kevin Knox. Kevin Knox, I really felt like his confidence is completely destroyed. There's a lot of players that been drafted over the years and confidence destroyed. Wesley Johnson, Johnny Flynn. I feel like Obi Toppin is just one of those guys that's going to fade off. You know, even if he does make something out of his career, I just don't think he's going to be that guy that's really going to blow. Like, you got guys that reach their ceiling and fall all the way off. Brandon Jennings, you know? And that was another guy that was on the Knicks, man. The Knicks, they get guys when they pass their primes, man.
Man.
They get guys past their primes, man. They kill me with that. Brandon Jennings, Tracy McGrady and all that. Amari Stoudemire. Stoudemire actually did good when he came out shooting threes, hit buzzer beaters. I remember that three he hit that didn't even count against Boston.
Yeah.
I remember that.
My man, that's what it is, man. I want to thank my man for coming on Real Talk with Nick.
Real Talk with Nick. You already know your boy L coming out on the podcast. We love y'all, man. Love is love, man. St. Nick be here, man. Love you.
Peace.